If you're trying to learn Spanish, there is a good chance that you're doing it completely wrong. Not because you're not smart, well, I don't know that, I hope it's not. But because most advice on the internet are honestly shit. People tell you things like, watch Netflix in Spanish, put your cell phone in Spanish, use this app for 5 minutes a day, and then 6 months later, you still cannot hold a basic conversation. I've been teaching Spanish for years and I've seen the same mistakes over and over again. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 10 biggest mistakes that people make whenever they're trying to learn Spanish. And more importantly, what to do instead. At the end of this video, I'm going to give you a simple 6-month plan that you can follow if you actually want to get to speak Spanish. Not theory, not motivation, an actual step-by-step blueprint. So if you're serious about learning Spanish, stay to the end, because that plan will make everything we taught today much easier to apply. Alright, let's start with the mistake number 1. And honestly, this is the one that stops most of the people before they even start. Mistake number 1, waiting for the perfect moment. Most of the people say that they want to learn Spanish, but they keep waiting for the perfect time to start. You need to make the decision and start today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next Monday, not when you have more free time, today. And here's the good news, you don't need 3 hours a day, you don't need a perfect schedule for that. So 20 minutes a day, it's more than enough. I know that sounds like nothing, but 20 minutes a day, it's more than 2 hours per week, which is more than most people who says that want to learn Spanish actually do. So decide and then do something about it. Today. Mistake number 2, expecting to be fluent in 3 months. Okay, this one is gonna hurt, but I'd rather you hear this from me now than figure it out in the hard way in 6 months. You're not going to speak Spanish perfectly in 2 or 3 months. It's not gonna happen. Not even if you move to a Spanish-speaking country tomorrow. So, moving somewhere else helps, yes, but it's not magic. I know people who have lived in Colombia for the last 3 years and they cannot even order a burger in a restaurant without pointing out at the menu. True story. So, learning a language is not about speed, it's about control, it's about being understood. Because, what is the point of speaking fast if the person in front of you has no idea about what you're saying? That's not communication, that's just noise with Spanish sounds. So, don't set a goal like fluent in 3 months. Instead of that, just commit to study 20 minutes every day. And I'm just saying that you cannot set the goal that you're gonna be fluent in 3 months, because that's not gonna happen. And when those 3 months pass and you're not fluent, you're gonna feel frustrated and you're gonna quit. And then you're gonna be watching this video again next year in 2028 and during 10 years until you definitely quit. So let's not do that. Instead of that, just set a realistic goal. For example, I'm gonna study 20 minutes every single day, no exceptions. Mistake number 3, trying to learn completely alone. I'm serious about this one. If you try to learn Spanish completely by yourself, no teacher, not tutor, just apps and YouTube videos, it's gonna take you more than 10 years, maybe more, and I don't know if you have all that time. And I'm not exaggerating this to scare you, this is just reality. Many people think that learning Spanish is just memorizing phrases. So you watch a video called 50 Spanish phrases for beginners, you repeat them, done, but that's not learning Spanish, that's not how it works. There is literally just learning 50 phrases. And the moment someone says something slightly different to those phrases, then you're done, you're completely lost. So, learning Spanish is about learning how to create your own phrases for any situation on the spot. And for that, you need someone who can teach you the logic behind the language. Find a tutor, find a teacher, someone good. Invest in that, it will save you years. Mistake number 4, using technology for everything. We have incredible tools for learning languages in 2026. Use them. But please don't use technology for absolutely everything. Sometimes the simplest things work better. For example, write things down with a pen in a notebook. It's old school, I know. But when you write something down instead of just reading that in your phone, your brain processes that information differently. You remember it better. And there is actually science behind this, but I'm not gonna explain that because I'm a Spanish teacher, not Amy Farrah Fowler. But trust me, it works. Now with AI, you can use it for practice. That's completely fine. But keep in mind, at the end of the day, you're gonna be speaking with real people, not with robots. So if you only practice with AI, you may end up sounding a little bit robotic. Nobody wants that. So find a real conversation partner. Go to a language exchange. Talk to humans. It makes a huge difference. Mistake number 5. Trying to translate everything from English. It sounds obvious, but it trips up so many people. You won't be able to translate everything exactly in the way that you say it in English. Because Spanish is a different language, we have different tools, we have different structures, and obviously different ways to express ideas. So some things that could be very simple in English, they are a real nightmare in Spanish. And some things in Spanish are actually easier than English. And yes, we just don't talk about that enough. The problem is that many students try to translate word by word, like they were running everything into Google Translator inside their head before speaking. And it doesn't work that way, or at least not very often. So the moment you accept that you need to find a different way to say something, like not a perfect translation, then your brain opens up. For example, in English we say to pay attention, but in Spanish we say to borrow attention or to put attention. So if you say it in Spanish exactly in the same way that you say it in English, people is not gonna get it because you're going to end up speaking English but using Spanish words. So students who let go this habit improve much faster. Keep that in mind. Mistake number 6, studying only when you feel like it. Motivation comes and goes, but consistency is the one who builds the skill. I said 20 minutes a day in the mistake number 1, and I'm saying it again because it's very important. So 15 or 20 minutes a day beats 3 hours on Saturday. So every single time your brain learns better when it has a routine. So if you only study when you feel like it, trust me, it will be less and less and less every day until you stop completely. So build that habit, sometime every day if it's possible. So make it non-negotiable. Treat that as, I don't know, brushing your teeth. You don't skip brushing your teeth because you're tired, right? Oh well, I hope it's done. Mistake number 7, wasting your dead time. Think about this. How long does it take you to go to work? How long does it take you to do the laundry or wash the dishes? That is dead time. Your brain is not doing anything useful. And you can use that time to practice Spanish. So talk to yourself while driving. Tell yourself a story in the shower. Describe what you're doing while cooking, for example. No one can hear you, so you have nothing to be embarrassed about. And those 15 or 20 minutes every day add up very fast. Mistake number 8, being afraid to speak slowly. At the beginning, every sentence will feel like a construction project. So you'll be like, I want to, how do I say, go, I want to go. Relax, that's completely normal. Speaking another language is not a rap battle, so you don't have to speak 5,000 words per minute. You just need to get your point across. That's it. When you need to slow down, well, slow down. People will wait. So speed comes naturally with practice. So speed is not the goal. Speed is a consequence. Mistake number 9. Thinking you're not improving. Around month 3 or 4, every single student feels this. You feel stuck, like if you were not improving anymore. Like maybe Spanish is not for you. And let me tell you that that feeling is a lie. At the beginning, progress feels fast because topics are easy. But later, topics become harder. So progress feels slower, even though you're improving more than before. So this is what I want you to do. Film yourself today, right after this video. Say something in Spanish and save it. Then in 3 or 4 months, whenever you're feeling that you're not improving, watch the video again. I promise, you won't believe how much you have improved. Mistake number 10, training your ears instead of your mouth. This one surprises people. When someone speaks Spanish and you hear a word that you don't know, your brain freezes. You get stuck in that word, and while you're thinking, the person keeps talking, and suddenly you have missed the entire sentence. Most people think the solution is to listen more, like watch more videos, watch more movies or TV shows, watch more podcasts, for example. And yes, that works. But here's something that actually works way better. You improve listening by learning how to speak faster. I know it sounds backwards, but if your brain can produce Spanish faster, then it will be able to process Spanish faster. And Spanish is one of the fastest spoken languages in the world. So during your solo practicing, push your speed. Speak faster than feel comfortable. Mess up the words. That's fine. You're just training your brain to move faster. Then when you speak with real people, just use whatever speed feel comfortable for you. But during your practicing, push it. Make it think faster and faster and faster. You need to force your brain to learn how to think faster, okay? So those are the 10 mistakes that keep most of the people stuck when they try to learn Spanish. But the real question is, what should you actually do instead? If you started today, what would the next few months look like? So let me show you a simple roadmap that you can follow step by step. The monthly plan. This is not the only way to learn Spanish. This is not the only way to do it right. But it's a structure that works for most people if they stay consistent. Month number 1. Build the habit. Your only job in this month is to start and be consistent. So don't try to learn everything. Find a teacher or a tutor at least once per week. Study 15 to 20 minutes every single day, no exceptions. Learn basics, introduction, numbers, greetings, common verbs, learn the phrases that you think you would use the most in real-life conversations. Something like ¿Cómo te llamas? Or necesito ir al baño, or quiero un café por favor. Write everything down in a notebook and use that time to talk to yourself in Spanish. While you walk or drive, try to learn the name of the things that you see, like a car, a traffic jam, a traffic light, a house, a tree, an ambulance. Anything you can see that will give you a lot of vocabulary. And film yourself at the end of the month, and this is non-negotiable. Your goal this month will be to introduce yourself and to hold a basic 2-minute conversation in Spanish. Month 2 and 3, start building sentences. Stop memorizing phrases, start building them. Work with your tutor on sentence structure. Practice present simple, future, and also simple past. And do not overcomplicate it trying to learn every single type of past tense that we have in Spanish. Keep it simple. Remember, our goal is to make you speak as soon as possible. Then you can polish it. Find a conversation partner. Push your speaking speed during practice. And keep the daily habit. The goal is for you to be able to describe simple daily routines. For example, what your boss or colleagues do each morning. You should also be able to talk about what happened last week or what you want to do next month. Month 4 and 5, add immersion. Now you need more exposure. Add Spanish contents to your week, like shows, movies, music. Start following accounts that share content about Spanish, like Hour, for example. If you like working out, for example, you can start following someone who explains exercises or diets or food or ingredients in Spanish. Watch all those videos, but find something you like. Otherwise, it's going to be boring as hell. Don't stress about understanding everything. Not understanding shows, movies, or music is completely normal. I mean, I still don't understand music in English, and I have been using English to work for the last 15 years. So don't panic. The way people speak in movies is different to the way that people speak in real life. Increase your conversation practice, and whenever you feel stuck, watch the video that you filmed during the month number 1. Exposure is essential, so try to do it as much as possible, so your ears can start feeling comfortable to the Spanish sounds and your brain to decode what you hear. You can start listening to the same 30 seconds of a song over and over and over again. It doesn't matter. Just get it done. And remember, you don't need to pay a plane ticket to get immersion. We have internet now, we're not in the 80s. Your goal is to hold a 10-minute conversation in Spanish, with mistakes, obviously, but we need people to understand what you're trying to say. Month 6 and beyond, play the long game. You're not advanced at this point, but your Spanish is real and it works. Now, just keep going. Never skip more than one day. Try full conversations without switching to English. And celebrate small wins. Watch the video that you filmed in the month number 1 and see how much your Spanish has improved. And remember, this is not a race. Okay, that's 10 mistakes and the plan. I know it's a lot of information, but honestly, none of this is complicated. And if you follow what we talked about today, you can be in a completely different place in 6 months. Subscribe if you enjoyed the video and leave your questions in the comments. And tell me what other topics would you like me to cover next time. I read everything.